right, what's going on? It's good to see you. I wanted
Nice
to
to see
bring
you as
up.
well.
I know that in here in about a month, we're just over a month now for your event coming up in Vegas,
Yep.
and I wanted to talk in real time, kind of like what you think would be relevant for me to speak about for your event. I want to make it the most impactful for your audience.
Yeah. So when I was putting my agenda together, my main goal this year was to try to inspire Gen Z.
Mm.
Right. The year before was couples. The year before that was just a big party. But this year I had a focus on Gen Z. Hence,
Okay.
Cody Davis kicks off day one. Dylan, you kick off day two. And the reason I wanted to go with Gen Z this year is I just think there's a lot of people out there with a lot of excuses.
Mhm.
And I think if you could be doing this game, at 25, at 23, those kind of excuses go out the window. So why did I invite you? I have a lot of friends in Gen Z that I could have invited. Why you and why Cody? Well, the reason I invited you was your story, frankly, doesn't start off great, right? You put in somewhere between 18 and 24 months of real diligent work before you got a deal. And I think that's unique. I think most people expect to be successful in 8 days or 8 weeks, not 16 months. So first off, I love that. I think more people need to have that attitude. Second, you paralleled that success into a repeatable process. Now it's become, you figured out what works and you doubled down. Second, you've taken some losses, right? This year you've had a couple of losses, and I think those are important. Next, you're mentoring people. You help somebody get their first flip. And probably the most exciting one for me is you are at such a young age living life on purpose, right? You're not just chasing money and internet fame. You're like, dude, I'm going to take a month off and go to South America. In 2026, I'm going to Bali. And I just think more people need to realize that life is a lot more than money. It's
Mhm.
about a collective experience.
Yeah.
And I think you at such a young age are a leading example in my world. And I want to celebrate you, right? That's part of the event is I want to celebrate people that are doing good work. And B, I want people to be inspired, not only Gen Z, which is, the target of your speech, but if a 23 or 24-year-old could be doing this, why can't you do it at 40 or 50 or
Yeah.
whatever? So that's why I reached out to you and said, hey, would you come? Would you do it? Would you be willing? And,
Yeah.
that's where it started.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That makes a lot of sense, and actually, I think that's a great idea. I think part of I think the hard part when I was first getting started in the business is I was going to a lot of these meetups and was completely like most of the people I was speaking were double my age, which is cool, but it made it feel so out of reach for me.
Right.
Especially being someone that already battled a lot of self-belief issues. Like I had a lot of self-doubt. I carried a lot of that with me. Like, okay, great for them, but not me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's cool for them, but like not for me. Um, and I remember like one of the things that I always think about was like raising money. I remember one of the pinnacle real estate investors in our area that's most known is Jason Pritchard. And I went to one of his meetups when I was 20. So I'm about raising private money. As a 20-year-old and talking about raising hundreds of thousands of dollars, to me, I was like, haha, that's funny. I'll never be able to do that. You know what I mean? Like it felt so out of reach because he had
Yeah.
swagger, he had a beard. He couldn't even grow chin hair yet.
Yeah.
And so my point to saying all that though, what took it for me to genuinely really believe that I could actually play this game was when I got introduced to some of my close friends, Scott and Cade, who were a couple
Yeah.
of years older than me that were doing the business. And it was the first time I had met people that were doing my thing. So all that to be said, I think it's a great idea to especially appeal to a younger audience and show younger kids that it is possible. I think that's great. Also, I feel like I identify really strongly with a typical Gen Zer, in the sense where we are so quick to expect results and quick to want success because of how technology's changed. You know what I mean? I grew up with social media and stuff, and especially now in the world that like we can get just this instant gratification all of the time. I think we expect success to feel that way too. And with all these grifters online, there's just all these different ways to get rich quick. And I fell right into that trap because I was day trading out of my dorm room and doing that in classes when I should have been studying. And I made a ton of money really quick, and I lost even more money even faster. And that literally was the catalyst for me to be like, okay, well, I'm playing the game wrong, and I have to do something that I'm actually going to learn skills. And so, all that to be said, I try not like, I feel like I identify more as a millennial, but in reality, I am a Gen Z. But
Yeah.
all that to be said, like I get it. Like I get the feeling of wanting to be successful. And the cool thing is about now is like the game is changing. You know, like if you are a Gen Zer and you pay attention to social media, like you can raise money from social media. You can do deals from social media. And if you just learn how to make consistent content that is going to resonate with a certain kind of person, you document your journey, you're not afraid. Like if you're just have the courage to be embarrassed, you have the courage to look silly, you're going to
Yeah.
be so much farther. And if you can do that online in front of people, the buy-in that you're going to have from your audience, will, one, is going to be super, super strong. And two, it's going to be jet fuel for your success. At least it has been for mine.
Yeah, when I think about what you've done and why I love you and Cody kicking off day one and day two is I really have my stated goal from day one on my couch when I did video number one, 16,000 videos ago, was I was trying to create something that outlived me by 50 years. And I have a special focus on the next generation. And frankly, people may not know this, but I'm ponying up something like $20,000 to have teenagers come, right? I gave my audience, people that have teenagers, if they want to bring their teenagers, I'm telling them to bring them for free. And that means I'm paying for their ticket, right? I'm paying for the food. I'm paying for the chair. I'm paying for all the entertainment. So there's somewhere between 20 and 30 teenagers coming, which I am paying for personally because I want to change the next generation. And I think you and Cody starting off day one and day two is hopefully going to get these people just like Cade was for you. It's like, oh, damn, he's not that much older than me. If he can do it, I can do it. As opposed to having somebody up there that's 60 talking like a grandpa. It's like, yeah, good for him. He bought a house when it was like 3 marshmallows and a Rice Krispie treat.
Exactly. That's how it feels.
Yeah. So I'm doing this on purpose because again, I think if you and Cody sort of kick it off, it's just going to remove all those age restrictions.
Yeah.
And that's important to me because I think at the end of the day, Gen Z, like every generation, I'm not just picking on Gen Z. The millennials did it. Gen X did it. I'm sure baby boomers did it. We always think we have it worse than the generations before. And, I think to your point with social media, it's never been easier to build a brand, to build a side hustle, to turn a side hustle into a main hustle. And, I don't know a baby boomer who wouldn't trade everything to be a Gen Z and do this show again. So I just want to encourage people and have hope and belief. And I know that's what you and Cody are going to bring.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it too. And I think you had mentioned, you had made a comment about it never being easier than it is right now. I do think that's true. What I want to add on top of that, because it's something I've been thinking out a lot about. The world right now, as we know it, is completely changing. Like AI. Like I don't think people really rationalize how like unbelievably and groundbreaking of an invention that is. Like it's awesome, but there's also a completely other side of it too. And I try to be reflective. I write, and a lot of the social media stuff that I do is just thoughts that I'll have. And one thing that I've been really thinking about is here pretty soon, because I use ChatGPT pretty regularly to kind of think through thoughts and clean up certain things. And most people do too. But if we do this every single day for the next 5 years, AI probably for most people is going to think its thoughts for people instead of them having to do it. Most people, if you ask them, hey, what's 12 times 15? They can't do it in their head. They use a calculator because they don't have to. They don't have like the skill set to be able to do that math in their head. And that's okay. There's efficiency. But like I've purposely annexed using a calculator in the last year so I could do that skill again. Now you take something simple as that and you don't have to compute hard thoughts anymore. And you do that for 5 years, you're like the level of comprehension that people are going to have and problem solving skills is going to be a lot significantly less without ChatGPT or AIs like it. That being said, algorithms already choose what you watch. I'm not saying this to try to like scorch the earth or make this scary. My point is like if you're a Gen Z or anyone for that matter, but if you're a Gen Z and you have some type of technological experience, you understand that there's value to AI, but you don't allow it to consume every waking thought that you have, and you actually take time for yourself and you use social media to your advantage, I think the gap is going to widen bigger than it ever has for people that is like you like completely using it for their life and people that like use it to leverage them. And I think the cream will rise to the top. I think there's never been a more important time than right now to learn valuable skills, to start building your brand, and to start actually doubling down on you, because everyone else is doubling down on AI, which is awesome. But it's all like, if you go on social media, it's just a bunch of AI slop. You can literally see everyone's copy and paste. So right now it's like, don't copy and paste, double down on you.
Yeah. It's funny. First off, 12 times 15 is 180, just to get that off the table. Because once you said that, my brain did the math. I'm like, shit, I know that answer. So let's get that out of the way. Second, it's funny you bring this up because I don't know if you saw this, but my challenge for 2026 is to write an article every day. Initially, it was 5 days a week. And of course, I'm going to do it 7 days a week because just how I am.
Yeah.
And it's funny because a lot of people have reached out to me going, hey, Zuber, you're not going to write these articles. You're going to use ChatGPT. I'm like, fuck you. I'm going to use ChatGPT. I'll never use ChatGPT to write these articles because I'm trying to become a creator, not somebody that's just copying, pasting. I'm trying to become a better writer. I believe communication is what's going to differentiate ourselves. And right now in my life at 53 years old, writing is a weakness. I suck at it. So guess what? I'm going to have 365 attempts at getting better. And yes, at the end of that, I might throw all of that into ChatGPT to say, write like me, because it's going to have lots of samples as opposed to write like somebody else. But it's exactly right. You've got to be a creator, not a consumer. And I've already figured it out with video, 16,000, 17,000 videos. Now I'm going to do it with writing, and who knows where this goes. But at the end of the day, I have a weakness and I'm going to tackle it like I know how to, and that's do it every day. And, 365 days, a half hour to 45 minutes a day, I will be better. I don't know how much better, but I'll be better in a year than I am today.
I could not agree more. I think now that we've kind of been shaping this out and talking about it, I think the direction and just for the audience out there, the reason that I like bringing this stuff up so early is because any speech that I give, one, is a massive honor for me to be able to because people are choosing to invest their harder. Like, you get no more time. If you're investing time with Michael and I, like that's a huge thing, more than money. You can always make more money. You can't make more time. So all that to be said, I take it very seriously, which is why I want to talk about it early. All that to be said, I think the direction that I really want to touch on is I want to harp on a little bit more of my story as someone that was trying to get rich quick. I was doing all the side hustles and stuff.
Exactly.
And I think touching on that is going to be really helpful for especially a lot of younger people, as well as exactly what you're talking about right there. Like, the differentiator to get from where you are to where you want to go, in my opinion, you can not believe in yourself. And as long as you take action and an obscene amount of it, you're probably going to succeed. Like 90% of the time you'll succeed. And if you don't succeed, it'll probably be doing something else, but you still succeed. And what happens is, with the cool part, the happenstance of doing a thing over and over again, is you might not be the best, you might not be Michael Jordan, but you'll be 1,000 times better than you were before because you've done a lot of it. And then what happens as you get good at something, all of a sudden you start to believe that you're good at it because you built evidence. And then the crazy part happens is you actually start to get motivated about the thing that you do. A lot of the times we aren't motivated about things because we're not good at it. If I do something and I'm bad, I automatically, I don't like it. I don't like it because I'm bad. You get good, it's fun. You know? So I think touching on that's going to be helpful. And then just teaching people, like, I think like using what we have at our disposal, exactly what you said. I think the biggest separation that a lot of people are going to have is people that can like leverage their brand and leverage AI, but like doubling down on you. Because a lot of people, and I was this person for a long, long time, I didn't want to post on social media. I didn't want to do these things because I saw these versions of other people. And I didn't want to be a guru. The people that succeed, like if you're a creator, if you're I'd rather say creator than influencer. I think there's some
creator for sure. Creator.
If you're a creator and you sound like everybody else, you're not going to succeed. You're not going to succeed.
Agreed.
And so if you don't learn the skills now, just being yourself, the people that blow up on social media are different. The artists that we like, whether it's Biggie or Tupac or whoever, like the people that have longevity in the business that are legendary status, were iconic because they were themselves. And I think that's the thing that people really need to understand right now more than ever, because here pretty soon, everything's going to look the same. Everything's going to sound the same, except for people like Zuber and people like Cody Davis and the people that are going to be at the event, because they're different and they're them.
Yeah, we are 100% authentic self. And what's really funny to me is I've never edited videos on my channel, which meant for the longest time I didn't grow. I have a really strong suspicion in a year or two, my channel's really going to take off because I'm not editing videos. It has the mistakes. It's not just AI perfection.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be really fun to watch as more and more people try to go the AI perfection route, and more people turn away and it turns people off. So yeah, that's what I want from you. I expect you and Cody Davis, frankly, to light the room on fire. I expect everybody in the room to go, if they can do it, we could do it. I expect people to take, different parts of your story and go, okay, it's hard for everybody there, but they're still successful. That's why you're up first, man. The first presentation of the day sets the stage for, sets the mood for the day. And you and Cody got I expect a lot from you, and I know you'll deliver.
Yeah, I'm super excited. And I promise for all of you guys that are listening to this right now, I've never met Cody personally, but we have a lot of mutuals. I know he's an absolute stud and he's going to bring it. I can guarantee you, every presentation I've ever given, I spent probably 16 hours in each one, minimum. So this one's going to be banging, and I'm super pumped about it.
Awesome. Well, Dylan, where can people find you?
Yeah, easiest place to do it is going to be Instagram. You have the handle right there at the bottom. It's Millionaire321. You can reach out to me. Feel free. I've had quite a few people that are listening on the channel that have reached out to me. I always respond.
Nice.
So,
I love that. Yeah, folks, Dylan comes on the channel each and every week. It would be wonderful if you reached out to him on Instagram just to say thank you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for being motivation. And don't forget, if you have teenagers coming, one of the things that I hope happens is I'm also paying $12,000 to create a full functioning podcast room for 2 days. My hope is Cody and Dylan get in that room with 5, 10, 15 Gen Zers, and they just take rapid fire questions. I think that would be a lot of fun. So let's get the teenagers there. I'm paying for them. So we'll see what happens. Dylan, you're amazing. Take care.
Take care.